Hi, dear children. Have you ever seen a desert? Have you ever been to a desert? Do you know what a desert is? A desert is generally a place without water and vegetation. A desert may be too hot or too cool. The popular belief is that it is an area of endless sand with no greenery, dry, hot, and without shade. But this belief is not all correct. The desert can be a beautiful place, a home of many people, animals, and plants. When it rains, desert flowers bloom. Do you know that? Dear children, without any further delay, let's get into our chapter, The Desert. Let me read the chapter. Those of us who live in regions covered with forests and surrounded by hills, many find it difficult to imagine what a desert is really like. The popular belief is that it's an endless stretch of sand where no rain falls and therefore no vegetation grows. It's dry, hot, waterless, and without shelter. But this is not entirely correct. For those who have studied it, the desert can be a beautiful place. It is the home of a variety of people, animals, and plants that have learned to live under very hot and dry conditions. True, the ground is not always hidden by a cover of grass, plants, and trees as it is in other climates. But whenever it rains, which is rare, desert flowers bloom and the sight can be as rewarding as that of any tropical garden. A desert is not always a flat, unchanging wasteland of dry sand. It may have mountains and hills. It may have an oasis, big or small. An oasis is like a green island in the middle of a desert where a spring or a well gives plants and trees a better chance to grow. A desert may be hot like the Thar or cold like Ladakh, but generally speaking, if a place has little or no water and vegetation, people usually call it a desert. Some deserts are almost totally without water. In such places, strong winds blow, raising heaps of sand and depositing them as mounds. These are called sand dunes that shift and move endlessly across the desert. Few plants can survive on such dry, shifting sands. Dear friends, many of us hold the opinion that a desert is nothing more than an endless stretch of land. Furthermore, people have this impression of deserts that they are dry, thin, waterless, hot, and without shelter. So, people hold a negative opinion about deserts. In contrast to general opinion, deserts are beautiful places on earth. Furthermore, deserts are home to a variety of plants and animals. It is certainly a rare, precious sight where desert bloom exists as rainfall takes place. No difference exists between the desert and tropical land. Deserts are filled with hills or mountains, but not necessarily a flat land. An oasis is similar to a green island that one can find in the middle of the desert, where a spring or a well gives plants and trees a better chance to grow. Means we can see a green patch with fresh water and green trees in the middle of a vast desert. It is a beautiful sight. It is called oasis. Let's continue. Deserts may consist of green plants and trees. Such plants and trees certainly provide comfort and shelter. Furthermore, deserts can also consist of springs. A desert is a hot region, but it also can be a cold region like Ladakh. Sand dunes are mounds comprising of a heap of sand that tend to move and shift endlessly at the time of strong winds. Means strong winds blow raising heaps of sand and deposit them as mounds. These are called sand dunes. Then very few plants are able to survive on the shifting mounds of deserts. Living things that are desert adapted are able to deal with the scarcity of water. Such animals are able to survive because they require less water for survival. Let's move on to the next paragraphs. All living things need water in order to survive. The few plants and animals that live in deserts have developed the ability to require less water than most plants and animals. The camel, popularly known as the sheep of the desert, can drink a lot of water at one time. Camels can do without water for days together. The reason is they sweat very little. We sweat because we must keep our body temperature constant. We sweat when it gets hot, and this cools the body. Camels can stand high body temperature. They don't need to sweat and can therefore retain the water they drink for long periods of time. See, dear friends, we know without water we can't live because we all are living things. So we need water to survive. But a few plants and animals that live in desert have developed the ability to live with less water than other plants and animals. For example, camels. They are known as the sheep of the desert. This animal can survive without water for days. Camels drink plenty of water at one time. Camels also sweat very little and can bear high body temperature. This is because the bodies of camels are different from our bodies. We, unlike camels, have to sweat to keep our bodies cool and maintain the appropriate temperature. Then see the next paragraph. The smaller desert animals do not drink water. They burrow underground during the hot day and come out at night to eat. Some of them eat other animals and get the water they need from the moisture in the meat. Others eat plants and seeds and get the water they need from plant juices. Smaller desert animals hide in underground burrows. This allows them to escape the extreme desert temperature. Moreover, these animals get water as per their requirement from plants and the moisture of meats. Then see the next paragraph. Desert plants also adapt themselves to the life they lead. Cactus plants store water in their thick stems. Their roots lie close to the surface of the ground and quickly absorb the moisture from the light rains that occasionally fall. The major feature of all deserts is, of course, dryness and variations of temperature. In humid climates, the moisture in the air acts like a blanket and protects the earth's surface from the hot rays of the sun. The absence of this blanket in desert lands causes the desert to heat up rapidly during the day and to cool off rapidly at night. So from these paragraphs we can understand that desert plants like cactus are able to store water thanks to their thick stems. They store water in their thick stems. Such plants lack deep roots. Hence, they absorb rainwater because they are close to the surface. Variation of temperature and dryness are distinct features of deserts. The moisture of the humid climate is missing in the desert. Due to the lack of this blanket, desert lands heat up rapidly during the day and also cool off rapidly at night. See the last paragraph. Deserts are an important part of nature's great plan. They are there like the dense forests and deep oceans. Just because they are hot and dry, one should not look upon them as useless parts of the earth. See, desert is certainly a gift of nature to everyone. As such, its importance is the same as that of other gifts of nature like forest and ocean. Most noteworthy, one must not detest deserts but rather should consider them as a blessing of nature. Dear friends, the desert story sends a powerful message about the value of deserts and why they should not be despised. Hope you understood the lesson. Let's discuss the question answers. Verse 1. A camel can do without water for days together. What is the reason given in the text? A camel can do without water for days together because camels sweat very little. They can withstand high temperatures. They don't need to sweat to keep themselves cool. That's why they don't lose water and thus can store it for a longer time. Okay, see the next one. How do the smaller desert animals fulfill their need for water? The smaller desert animals take various measures to fulfill their need for water. What are they? Some of them burrow underground in the daytime and come out only at night to eat. Some others eat other animals and get the moisture from the meat. Some eat plants and seeds and obtain plant juices. Okay, see the next one. In a desert, the temperature rises during the day and falls rapidly at night. Why? Deserts do not have moisture cover. So, the temperature rises during the day and falls rapidly at night. Okay, these are the 3 question answers. You can write the answers in your own sentences. So, my dear children, read the chapter well and try to understand the lesson. Okay, children, see you in the next class. Thank you.